Brady Van Someren from the Prince George Kodiaks joins us for this football story. We want to find out how Brady got to this point here in the CJFL as receiver with the Kodiaks. So, Brady, tell me a little bit. What was your first football memory, if you can think back to that time?
First football memory, I definitely remember, um, would have been around 8 years old. Um, just moved into Yorkton area, and first thing I wanted to do was find a football team, and found at the elementary school there was a coach. His name was Coach Boyda,
Mhm.
and yeah, we were just chopping it up as we would back in the day. He said join the football program, and it's been nothing but 10 years, almost 12 years now of just football ever since.
Okay, so take us through where are you born and raised?
I was born in Three Hills, Saskatchewan, then or Three Hills, Alberta, sorry, and then moved to Saskatchewan when I was about 6 and been there ever since.
Boy, Saskatchewan's quite the football province, isn't it?
You know it. That's the pile driver there.
So, how did you fall into football? How did you first get going when you were 8 and you were looking for a football team in Yorkton?
I th it was just a lot of I watched a lot of football growing up, I guess. My grandpa was a big football guy. He was always talking about wanted all of us to play football, so we'd always be huddled around the TV on Sundays watching the Seahawks play. And eventually, I was just told my mom, "Oh, I want to be a football player," and it ended up being a couple of back and forths as a little 6-year-old with all the contact and whatnot. But eventually, I got the yes out of her, and that's how I got into it.
Was it contact right away at that age, or did you play flag first? Or
Contact right into contact. That's what my mom was a little scared about. We didn't have a flag league in Yorkton, but I was all about it. I was like, yeah, I'm ready to go.
when did mom finally say, okay, he's going to be okay? Or is she still a little, Brady, be
Oh,
careful?
she's always a little on the scared side, I guess. I remember very vividly last year I had a bigger hit in Chilliwack last year, and it was a bit of a tense week. I got a lot of phone calls back from mom.
Hmm. So, any other family members? Your grandpa liked football, got you into it a little bit, but any family members actually play?
My little brother played a little bit in high school, and then my older brother played when me and him were both young. We're only a year apart. We played a little bit when we were young, and yeah, but I guess I kept going with it here.
That's a lot of boys in your family
Yeah,
for mom to worry about.
right, exactly.
Do you play any other sports?
No, just football.
Really? So,
Yeah,
never being in Saskatchewan, never a hockey guy or curling or anything like that?
no curling. I guess a little bit of hockey here and there, but nothing too serious.
Okay. And you're a wide receiver now with the Prince George Kodiaks. Was it always a receiver? Did you ever dabble in any other positions?
Well, obviously in Pee Wee football, you're always put wherever
Right.
the big guys are always put down low. That's how it always goes. So played a little bit of D line, but most of the time, yeah, been receiver.
What about nowadays? Now you're a receiver, but ever go to Coach Borum and say, hey, like I want to play DB or I want to try my hand at safety, anything like that?
Hey, I've told him I've got a bit of an arm on me. If we need an emergency cue, let me tell you.
And he's not taking you up on it yet.
No, he hasn't taken me up on that offer.
Okay, so you mentioned the Seahawks earlier on. Is that your team? Is that one of your favorite teams growing up?
Yeah, been my team since the Hasselbeck days. Love those guys. Sean Alexander growing up watching those guys, those couple years where Jerry Rice was in the uniform. Yeah, those were the good days. And then yeah, obviously winning the Super Bowl, that was probably a highlight of my life so far.
The throw by Russell Wilson at the goal line against the Patriots.
That's a touchy subject.
Do you give it to Marshawn if you're the coach? If you're Coach Carroll in that position?
100%. 100%. You can't average 5 yards a carry and not give a guy a ball.
Right? Okay, speaking of coaches, your favorite coach growing up, was there one that really stood out?
Um, I think two for sure that I think really, I guess, jump started and put me in a position today that I am in. Coach Jason Boyda, my high school coach, and Coach Ryan F, our defensive coordinator in high school. Those two guys, they were really big inspirations and always, I guess, pushed me to kept pushing myself further and kept telling me that, yeah, you have a future in this sport, and they really pushed me to the next level for sure.
So when you were in high school, when did you know the CJFL would be a good path for you to take?
Um, I think right from the gate, like I always wanted to play next level ball. Like that was always a dream of mine. And coming out of high school, I was definitely a little underdeveloped size wise and weight wise. And I thought the junior route would be a great spot to start. Obviously not only it's a great league to play in. I love playing football here. I think the football is top notch. I think we were just in Edmonton last week and we were competing with university teams at the CFL throwing camp, and I think we're right up there with those guys. And yeah, I think some of the top ball in the nation for sure, 100%. And it just gives guys a little bit more time, definitely, to develop into the players they want to be. And I think it's just an awesome route for any player that wants to go that route.
Being in Edmonton, what was it like going up against arguably bigger, faster, stronger guys? Does this motivate you to get back into the gym and continue to develop and work weight wise, but also on skills?
For sure, 100%. You see all those guys in their nice university uniforms, and you want to be one of those guys eventually. And I think, yeah, just playing against those guys, it's definitely a different speed, but you got to love that competition and going into those camps and those little sessions with those guys and just wanting to get better and wanting to be able to compete with those guys and obviously be better than those guys eventually. So I think that being able to be put in those situations is, I guess, such a privilege as well. And yeah, it's just an awesome experience.
Why Prince George? Why end up a Kodiak?
Um, I guess there's a couple reasons. Never seen the mountains before, so I guess
Okay.
that was a big reason. I like always been a farm boy, so the idea of I guess taking myself out of my comfort zone and moving away from the prairies and putting myself in a position where I guess my only focus is football. I obviously through high school and all that, the focus is always football, but you got your trying to figure out your career plans going through high school. And I just wanted to put myself in a position where football is my life and I wanted to, yeah, just make that my main focus. And I feel like taking myself away to, I guess, province where I don't know anyone, keep myself in uncomfortable positions, never wanted to be too comfortable. I thought Prince George was an awesome option. The team here is awesome. Coach Borum, has been an amazing coach. He's been nothing but great to all of us players. I think arguably, he's probably the best coach in the nation, in my opinion. I think he's fantastic. He's always sticking up for his guys. He's working us hard. I think that's really good. He keeps us very disciplined, works us very hard, and I think that's really going to show this year on the field.
What about mom? Was there a lot of selling for mom to let you go to Prince George?
No, actually, she was funny enough, she was pretty on board with it. She's like she originally was from Prince George, actually. She lived
Okay.
here for a few years. She was a missionary with my grandparents, and so she was here for a couple years. And as soon as Coach Borum gave me the call last January, it was, yeah, 100%. That would be an awesome place to go.
Yeah. So how do you see your football story continuing after your CJFL career comes to an end? You're done with the Kodiaks. What's next for Brady?
Obviously pro ball. I'd love to go play pro ball. That's
Sure.
always something that's in the cards for me. I want to get myself into that position where I can play some pro ball, whether that's down in the States or whether that's here up in Canada. I'd love to go play some pro ball, university as well. I do want to go get my degree and go play for a university team. That would be awesome. I think getting the experience of playing both CJFL ball and university ball is so invaluable. Like there's not many guys that end up getting to do that. You get both sides, I guess, of the both sides of the story. I guess you get to see how university teams ran, you get to see how junior teams ran, and I think just that experience is so invaluable. So definitely university ball
Okay, go reach back into the memory banks and think
for
of
sure.
that one play, and it can be at any level, but that one play in your life that you will tell over and over and over again. Whoever wants to listen, when you're old and gray, that
Mm,
one play where you're like, oh, I remember when. What's that play?
I would say my grade 10 year first away game with the senior team. We were going up against Central Collegiate. We were neck and neck for first place, and I don't know, that year, I guess I was more of a rotational guy for sure, being a grade 10 on the senior team. We had a lot of bigger guys on that team, and but I remember it was end of the game. We were tied, I think. No, we were losing, I think 13-10. And there it was it was a goal ball. I was on the boundary side, and usually we don't look that way, but for some reason our quarterback on that boundary side decided to take a peek and went up with, I think there was about 5 minutes left on the clock, scored the game-winning touchdown, and I guess as a grade 10, seeing all these senior guys just be elate and so excited for a young guy, I think that was probably one of my favorite plays of my career for sure.
Gives me goosebumps just listening to that story. That's a great story. Brady, thanks for doing this. Thanks for sharing your football story, and good luck with the Kodiaks this year and down the road.
For sure, thank you. I appreciate it.